Hey traders! Welcome to another video. Today we are going to answer some questions on the YouTube channel. Let's get straight into it. Do not place a trade based on what you're seeing in this video. Trading is risky and it can cause substantial financial loss. There is no guarantees of making money in the markets, and trading is the most hardest thing you will ever do, and it takes a long time to become a good trader. So this video is just educational only. If you're struggling with your trading right now, then click on the very first link in the description and get learn a free training, the 7 universal laws to become a master trader that will boost your success, consistency, and confidence without spending a decade trying to figure it out. Click on the very first link in the description right now. Alright, hey traders, hope you guys are doing well. Now we're going to answer some questions on the YouTube videos that I've been doing over the last week, and actually especially just mainly for the last couple of videos that I did. Now, I did a video titled Silver and Gold Long-Term AG, Market Blew Off, Scanning the Market, Trading Rules. Alright, now, and that was obviously published a few days ago. So let's actually go through those questions here. Great video. I love the Q&A. Thank you so much, Richard. I appreciate you. Jacob says, why did you buy AG over Fortune Silver or Endeavor Silver? In my opinion, those two are better choices that are more shareholder friendly. Jacob, my man. All right, so Jacob, you may be new to this channel, but the thing about trading is that you don't buy something because you think it's a good idea. You get into something because you know it meets your plan. Do you have a plan, Jacob, or do you say, you know what? I think these two shares or these two stocks are much better to get into. If that's the case, don't trade. Don't even invest, right? You must have some sort of a plan to get in and out of the markets. You know, you don't want to be just getting into something you don't want to be getting into something that you just don't know. You know, there's no sort of rules or systems or something like that. You know, like you just don't want to say, you know what, I think this is a good idea. Let me get into this one here. That's called gambling. What you want to do is you want to have some sort of a system. You say, oh, you know what, this is my system that I know that works overall, even if it is for investing. You know, you need some sort of rules for investing. You know, if you're just buying the stock, now I didn't buy the stock, by the way, Jacob, I bought the option. And so secondly, why did I buy AG? Because AG actually had the formation that I was after, where I don't know about Fortune Silver or Endeavor Silver. I don't know. I don't think I even looked at those ones. So that's the reason why I got an AG, because it actually met my plan or met my rules when it comes to that. Now, one thing I want to say is moving forward, Jacob, is that if you are investing in the market, or even if you're buying stocks, you must have some sort of a plan. You know, it's like, okay, yes, you may like certain companies that you want to get into, and you may think they fundamentally look good, or they're shareholder friendly, blah blah blah. All right, this is what you need to do, Jacob. Before you get into the market, you say, okay, cool. One, what type of chart pattern am I looking for to get in? Because it's very basic, very simple. What not indicators? Okay, throw those things out the window. What sort of chart pattern am I after for me to get in on? You know, it could be just something simple as, let me bring up my indicators, my trend line here. It could be something simple as when the market runs up, comes back down, and then runs back up, and then comes back down. It could be on where the market runs up as at this here could be a weekly chart, and the market's running down. It's coming to a support level here on this weekly chart, and on the daily chart we start getting a little update with an increase in volume, and you might be having this sort of volume coming through here. You know what I mean? And you say, you know what? I'm going to get in here. I'm going to buy this stock because it's now on a 50% retracement. It's bouncing off here. We've got an indecent volume. We've got a nice little update. I'm going to get in here, but I'm going to have a stop below the low, because I'm not going to buy and just hold because I think it's a good idea. You know, you want to have some sort of system to get in. You want to keep your losses small and keep your profits big. So what you want to do is you might want to say, you know what, here's my stop, here's my entry, and I'm gonna then what I'm going to do is when I get into this, then I'm going to hold it as long as I can, basically. And you're going to ride these, and the market might go up a little bit, then down a little bit, and then up a little bit, down a little bit, and you might be riding those highs and lows. Makes sense, Jacob. So I hope you can see it could be something simple as that. So Hope this is. Asha, why don't you do intraday trading? I just want to know. Great question there, Ashu. I actually used to do a lot of intraday trading, and even last year for my private coaching clients, I wanted to show that momentum strategy works on the forex market, the futures market, works on all markets. So I actually started trading the forex market on the 1 minute chart, and also the futures market on the 1 minute chart, 5 minute chart, and 15-minute chart. And for me personally, I spent so many years trading the intraday charts that I'm a very impatient person, and I know that. And trading intraday, even though I can do it, it's so hard for me because I'm an impatient person. And plus also, I spent, a good probably 5 or 6 years spending 16 hours a day looking at all the different types of markets: Australian market, the European market, the US market, futures markets, forex markets, so on and so forth. I had like 7 screens. It was crazy, absolutely crazy. And yes, I was doing really, really well from it, but that's not sure if you guys know, but then I ended up getting cancer from just pushing myself too much. And from that process, and from that, I had to step back and I said, okay, I can't be sitting in front of the screen all day, but how can I set up a trading style to fit my overall ideal lifestyle? How can I have a trading style to give me a really good income, but still be able to have the freedom and the balance to be able to enjoy life, right? Because the biggest thing that I ran into the problem was that I worked so hard to make money, but everything else was falling apart. My health, I was literally on my deathbed. The doctor said I had 6 months to live back in 2008. My wife was walking out of me. My wife was walking out of me. She wanted a divorce, and it was just a really, really, really bad time. And all I was doing was focusing on money, and nothing else. I was just total miserable there. So I really had to start balancing it out there. And a lot of people think, well, yeah, if I start making a lot of money, then I'm going to be happy. Yeah, bullshit. Because if you're making a lot of money and that's all you're doing, one, you're going to become saying, is this what life's all about? And secondly, you're not going to feel good about yourself, right? What is the number one thing that's going to make you happy amongst anything? Your health. Making sure you're going to the gym, making sure you're going for a run, making sure you're having a green drink or some green tea or something like that. Things that's going to be better for your health, right? Because the better we feel about ourselves, the better we are. So anyway, amongst all that, that's the reason why now majority of my trading, and every now and then I might go back to forex trading, and I might pick a time where I'm going to do that, but I'll pick a time to do that. Right now, 100% of my trading right now is, I live in Australia, so I'll get up first thing in the morning to trade the last hour of the US stock market, and I'll go through all my scans. I've got 6-7 different types of scans, and I'll spend half an hour, 40 minutes just going through all the different scans, hundreds and hundreds of stocks that the scans have appeared. And then from that, I might have a list of maybe 5, maybe 10 potentials. And then out of that, I might have one really good trade, or sometimes no trades at all. It just depends. And then from that, what I do is from that trade, what I do is I will then trade the option over that, and if the market moves for me, especially like for me, I like to buy first out of the money. Now, I'm not telling you guys what to do. First out of the money is much more riskier, but if you can get the direction right, you can pick up 100 to 200% profit quite easily. If the market starts even a 50% profit. Now, if you've got a $5,000 trade, a $10,000 trade, like recently I had a trade. And I got in one day, and the very next day, it was a 200% profit the next day. Now, if you had a $10,000, if you could afford to do $10,000 per trade with it not having too much risk, that's a $20,000 profit there. You know what I mean? In just one trade. Even if you had a $5,000 trade, that's a $10,000 profit. You know what I mean, Ashu? So I started to realize more and more that if I can start to trade just this 1 hour per day and trade really, 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 really well and have these really amazing setups, and from those setups, I'll get in today, and I'll get in 5 minutes before 5 minutes to the close, and then tomorrow I'll wake up and I'll see what actually happened the next day. Now, I don't make money overall, and I make mistakes and so on and so forth, but what I found is that I said to myself, if I can trade really well from here, and I can start to build my account where I can start to put on, even this is back in the day when I had no money, and I thought, if I can start to actually, this is when I had cancer. If I can start to start to get to my position where I'm happy, start putting on $5,000 a trade, even a few $1,000s a trade, and I can start to get those returns 50%, 100%, 200% and more. Well, then I realized that I could make really good money from only trading an hour per day. Does that make sense, Ashu? So I hope that makes sense. Okay, Falcon. Forget primary silver miners. Silver needs to to be priced at $24 for them to make money. Better to find a good gold miner. GG has been a beast for me in January. Now I am positioned for a modest pullback in gold. Just trade it. Don't be a pig. Don't get slaughtered. Exactly right. Exactly right, Falcon. You know, and exactly what you're saying there, right? Like, don't be a pig. And not all gold stocks, by the way, you know, not all gold stocks, Falcon, are just, like I actually recently, I bought a gold miner, and the thing went against me, just absolutely just went against me. Like, I had a nice update and boom, the thing just got hammered the very next day. So not all gold miners. Again, it goes back to all that trading setup there. Cassie, hey John, thanks for pointing out the price action here, John, and explaining it to the folks. I ended up doing a stop loss on AG trade and used your approach with money management. That is the first time I've taken a loss with more control, and I must say I felt better knowing that I was taking around 9% loss rather than a 20 or 30% losses I've experienced in the past. 9% is still probably more than I should have taken as a loss on that trade, but next time perhaps I'll catch a profit instead of using the same setup. If it turns against me, I'll be sure to cut my losses even shorter. Thanks again. No problem, Cassie. And the thing is, Cassie, you want to sort of range that. You know, I mean, you want to sort of a gauge of what sort of loss you're going to have. You know, like Cassie, when I'm trading options, if I'm trading out of the money options, I know that the fact that if the market goes against me, I can be 50% loss up front straight away. So I factored that in, you know what I mean? Like, but again, also I factor in that, very next day could be 100, 200% profit, you know what I mean? So that's the way I look at it. So, okay, if I'm 50, 60% loss in the whole the very next day, the amount of money I'm putting on right now, what is that? So if I'm placing, say, 5% of my account, then I say, okay, then really I'm risking around 2.5% of my account. And that's the way I look at it, 2.5% of my account on this trade, roughly, if the market goes against me quite strongly, quite hard. Does that make sense, Cassie? Now, what I do say is like 50, 60% loss is quite big, especially if you're trading more than 30 days out. You've got more than 30 days time frame in the option, and you're trading just out of the money. It's not too far out of the money, and so on and so forth. Now, if you trade more than 30 days out and trade in the money options, well, a big loss could be 20 or 30%. You know what I mean? So I know that for me up front. So I trade just out of the money, just first out of the money options with more than 30 days, to run. So with that 30 days gives me the cushion and so on and so forth. So from that, I say, okay, then what is my risk on this trade? Now remember, I'm trading the exact same setup every single time. Well, not every time. Sometimes a bit of a douchebag myself. I take setups I know I shouldn't, if you watched the video, the last video. And so that's basically what I do, right? So you want to always factor that in. What is the percent risk on your account that you're taking around with that? So if you're buying shares and you're buying a certain amount, you want to say, okay, how much risk am I putting on this account that I'm comfortably taking? And you must accept the fact that this could be a loser, and then factor that in. So, okay, the stock's here. My stop loss is here. If you're buying the stock and you have a stop loss, you want to make sure that, okay, then you are happy with that level of risk where it's not going to blow you out of the water. And what you want to try and do, Cassie, is that you want to try to have at least a 2-to-1 risk to reward ratio. So you want to be able to try to get in with, if you're risking, say, for example here, if you're risking 10% loss on that trade, well, then you want to try to go for a 20% profit. You know what I mean? And one thing I suggest you do is that if you get into a trade and the market runs on for your 10%, bring your stop loss to break even plus, so you can't lose any money, and then you can start to ride it up even more. So, but I would say on your trades, every single time you be a bit more mechanical about it. It's like, okay, I'm taking no more than a 10% loss. If it's shorter, then that's actually even greater. And then from that process, okay, I'm trying to have a 2% profit. If you could be a lot more mechanical about that process, I'm looking for at least 2 times my risk on every single trade, at least 2 times. And from that process, you'll be able to start to grow your account. Even if you're 50-50 right, which is just basically toss a coin. Even if you're 50-50 right and you're 2-to-1, you start to make money. And if you have a mechanical process around that, you'll do well in the market. So hope that makes sense, Cassie. John, enjoyed you covering the TC scans. Could you do a couple of simple trades on TC2000? I replied to this here. Yep, I just said that I don't trade with TC2000. I just view the charts to do my scans, and I use IB Interactive Brokers to trade my trade with Options Express. Thanks, John. Great explanation. Good of you to take all this time for us. No problem, Destiny. No problem. Let me go back to here. Let me go back to what's stopping you. This one here was probably one of the best received videos. Hey. Yeah, I just this video here, long-term view with my trading week, and trading success, biggest mistakes. And I had this actually one here. So great stuff, John. Thank you so much. I appreciate your comment there, Rison. Aliso, thanks for the inspiration, John. No problem. I appreciate that. JJO, thank you. Your speech was very inspirational. Thank you so much. I appreciate your comment there. And love your motivational, man. Love your motivational videos, man. I'm a full-time worker and father of 1-year-old girl, and sometimes I'm getting in the trade when I know it's the wrong moment, but because I don't have time to sit there and wait, then I often end up going badly. Isn't that the case? You know, Eric, I think that's how you pronounce your name. You know, and isn't that the case, Eric? You know, like when you get into the market and you know you shouldn't be, every single time, or like 90% of the time when you do that, it's going to be a losing trade. So the better you can get at reading those signals within inside yourself, the better trader you'll be. And I know that sounds pretty voodoo, but you know, the universe is really trying to guide you, right? That intuition is trying to guide you. The better we can do that, the better trader will be. One of my mentors turned, I think, a $20,000 trading account into $3 million in about 5 years time frame. And he said one of the biggest things that he did, he started shifting to, yes, he was mechanical, but he really started listening to that quiet voice inside of him. Every single time it was very quiet, very still, and he made much better decisions from there. And so from that, he made much better decisions. And so that was my mentor. Now I actually went to the person he taught him, and he said the exact same thing. There's gauges, there's things that's happening, or there's gauges, there's signs that's happening with the inside of us. And from that process, those signs, I call it intuition guidance, you know whether you should or shouldn't be doing it. You know what I mean? And sometimes we get mixed up between the intuition and that ego. The ego is like screaming, oh my goodness, double up on this thing. This thing's gonna run off for profit. And my goodness, I did that last week. You know what I mean? It's like, man, I did it again. So the more times we can just say, you know what? And so what I want you to do, Eric, and the one thing that I do, one thing I'm doing moving forward is like every single time you get into a trade, you need to have a sign or something on there. Are you about to get into a trade that is not your plan? You're going to lose money. Don't trade it. You know what I mean? Or something like that to remind you to say, don't get into this thing. So yeah. So what you just said is so true. Don't rush it. Wait for the setups. I'm working hard on my patience. It's so hard. You're a great inspiration in my life. Keep doing what you do. All the best, man. Thank you so much, Eric. I really, truly appreciate your feedback there. And I really appreciate what you actually do there. And, you know, and you're so right. You know, I mean, you know, Eric, you know, there's a lot of trading. I reckon most trading systems out there actually work. But a lot of people like to blame and say that didn't work. Really, at the end of the day, we didn't work the system, right? It's like that. And one of the biggest things out there, one of the two biggest characteristics of a successful trader is patience and discipline. And as I said on this video, my mentor sits in front of a screen for 12 hours a day, every day, trading intraday charts, and he'll watch these things move and move and move and move and not take anything until his setup is appeared, and then boom, he'll pounce. He makes 92% success rate, makes a few $100,000 a year, a couple of $1 million a year. Actually, it makes $2 to $3 million a year, and he has a great time doing it as well too. So, and I really have learned that. So, thank you so much for your comment there. Bitcoin is going up, is it? Let me have a look here. Let me go to investing.com. Let me have a look at Bitcoin right now. What's Bitcoin doing? What Donald Trump hints at? Oh, who cares? Let's go to have a look at Bitcoin for you guys while I'm doing this video. Okay, Bitcoin is up. Bitcoin's up just slightly after being down 50%. Let's go have a look here. So if you guys want to have a look at Bitcoin, You just type in go to investing.com, type in BTC/USD, and you'll be able to see. This is the way that I view it anyway. I used to view it on my chart. So, all right, so we're looking at a 15-minute chart. You can see this market's nicely starting to step up here. Let's go have a look at that hourly chart. And the hourly chart, once again, you can actually see it's actually starting to step up there as well again. So the hourly chart's starting to step up, and now we're looking at this. Now we're looking at this this daily chart here. Now, one thing I want you guys to if you're looking at Bitcoin, is again look at what the actual market's doing. So the first thing that I notice here is there's a few things I notice. Firstly, we actually have a pretty significant downtrend through there. Actually, let me just do this here. So we have a pretty significant downtrend from there to there. So we have a pretty significant downtrend. So even if you do rally up, we are in this pretty significant downtrend through there. We do have a pretty significant major horizontal line support, which is around about, I'd say this level through here would be the the line in the sand for me. But the one thing you notice here, and this again, reading the stock market and reading the charts is all about flowing along with what the story continues to tell you day by day by day. So what's happening right now in Bitcoin as I speak? So right now, what's happening in Bitcoin, you can see the markets ran down, made a double bottom through here, ran up, broke up, came straight back down, all the way back down, rallied back up, made a peak, came down, and we're just going sideways here. So the question is, and this is the obviously the question here, is this, let me see if I can get some sort of something else here. Okay, yeah. So, all right. So is this right here? Can I flip that upside down? There we go. I'm just getting used to this. Is this right here and this right here? Are these two, is this a double bottom right now? Well, it actually did come down, right? It ran down once, ran down twice, and now we're just going sideways. So here is the case scenario of what is going on with Bitcoin. So the first scenario is that we made a double bottom right now. Sellers are still in control, all right? Sellers are still in control. Do not be fooled for this. Why? Because if you look at this once again, you can see here once again, what do we have here? We have a higher high. Now this is actually a lower high with a double bottom. So right now, if we start to break up and above that, and then we come back down and test it and then break back up like that and start to break above new highs, then yes, this is a double bottom, neck break line, and then I do believe we're likely to start breaking out and then continue running back up. But don't be trying to short this market right now when there's in a big massive downtrend. You don't want to be if you're trading the hourly charts or 5-minute charts, this has nothing to do with you. You know what I mean? But long-term investing, you know, you want to see this thing. You want to. It did break above. We had this support here, support here, support here. It did break down, a lot of resistance through there. So you'd want to see that thing clear that first. If it's going to go for another run up back up to 20,000, you want to see at least a clear back above the 13,000 mark.